Alright, so what I said earlier for this phaser to get a good effect, to get a better sound, or more dramatic, is to match these JFETs, and in order to do that, I'm just gonna measure their parameters, like cutoff voltage and maximum current. So we're gonna see what it does. So for that, I'm just gonna clear this up a bit, get this out of the way so I can actually do some work. I have a bunch of JFETs and a bunch of different JFETs, so I'm going to try to get them, working. So get few different types of them, I have I kind of created my own measuring rig. Anyway, I did a video before how to measure these parameters. What I'm going to do, I kind of found a more advanced circuit for measuring this, so I'm just gonna go and use that. I might cover it in some other video, the details. So I'm just gonna create a table here, and so I'm gonna do J113s here. I'm gonna mark them because otherwise I have no clue which one I'm dealing with. So let me get all my J113s here. I don't have too many of them. I have 5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark them first. Okay, that way I know which I'm using. All right, so let me set up my rig. It's great that I can see what's written on them. Okay, I turn them around like this. So I know I have here what is gate, drain, source. Here I know that this one is drain, source, gate, I think. Yeah. The pinout, so just be careful about the pinout. I'm just going to plug this in. It's on. And this will just tell me my cutoff voltage here. I'm just going to write it down. When I press the button, I'll get current. All right, so what we got here with this batch of JFETs, we can see that I can probably use this one and that one together to pair them. At least that's the best pairing, and these two. So measurement is, you know, this is correct cutoff voltage, but this is, I need to divide by 10 what is in milliamps. Just it's easier and it's better resolution to look at it this way. If I do it like this, yeah, even get better resolution here. All right. So I have a few more to go. So I have J112s, 111, and I have some other ones. So let me just go real quick through that and see how that works and what the result I'm going to get. All right, I have a bunch of J112s. Actually, one thing I checked was in datasheet, just to make sure that I have I'm in range for J113, and I am in range. It looks like cutoff voltage is between minus 0.5 and 3 volts, which is somewhere in between. So this is on a higher end, I suppose. The other one is current is minimum is 2 milliamps. This is way over. So, you know, with J112, I'm expecting cutoff voltage between minus 1 and minus 5 and over 5 milliamps the current, but let me mark them first and we'll go from there. So my power supply it covers up to 120 milliamps, so I was thinking it was less powerful. So that was showing. Okay, so it can. So you have to be careful. Depends on what power supply you're using. You might not be pushing enough current through the JFET, I suppose. So that's one of the things. This is all within the datasheet specification, but this is it's kind of interesting. This cutoff voltage is way too high for phase 45. The circuit I have, whatever I do, I don't think I'm gonna be able to use this. I'm gonna try two of them. So let's see which ones should I try. So I'll go with the lowest. These two are kind of I'm gonna try these two. Can't really go. That won't make a huge difference between. But like, look, I'll try these two and see how that goes later on. So let's move on to J111. Let me try that out. It's the same pinout. Obviously, if you have loads of these, you wouldn't be marking them like this. Like if you ran out of space, probably would have some kind of a bins or something that you would put them together, and you define the what you call it, the parameter range or something like that. So let's see. Yeah, 110. And I don't know. As I said, like my power supply can go up to 120. The question is how accurate at this stage this is. So I'm just gonna. I don't think I'm gonna use this J111. No real point. I think J109. But let's see. Let me try a couple of before I even mark them. Yeah, this one it's not too bad. Let's see. It's comparable to J112, so maybe I can get it to work. We'll see. That's 200 plus milliamps. That is a lot. Well, I mean, a lot for my power supply to supply. This is a bit strange. Okay. I knew this one has this drain current way bigger than the other ones. I just did not expect that. So just I'm getting good at marking these transistors. I would take this with a pinch of salt. This is not probably correct. This one is. I'm not going to go through that, but I might give it a try with these too. They have similar cutoff voltage as long as I am able to get that biasing point to correct level. So I'll leave them on the side. So the last batch I'm going to measure is BF256B. They should be okay. So I measure this. Let me choose a few. Okay, it's a bit of a all over the place, isn't it? Let me try with this one and that one, and we go with this one, and no, with this too. That looks like a good idea. So I have my candidates. I have loads. I have several pairs, so it will be interesting to see how that works out in the end. So let's start experimenting. All right, all JFETs measured. Let's get this out of the way and let's start plugging them in and see what we get. So we'll start with our J113. We're gonna try with this one first. 3 and 5. 5, 3. Let's get everything hooked up and give it a try. Battery. And it worked straight away. And I have a feeling it was way more dramatic. Yeah, that looked good. Wow. Oh, okay. Let me get the other pair. So 2 and 4. And if you see there, it's 0.5 volt difference here between these. So I would say I did not expect it to work from start. So we need to just check the biasing point. Let me increase the speed. Just easier to find the spot. Nice. All right. First two, that was okay. So let me do this. So let me just replace one of these. So I'm not gonna match them and see if we get, and I'm keeping them here separate just so I can come back to them later. I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining it, like, but it seems like when they're not matched, it gets a bit stuck, but the sound is not as sweeping. Okay, let's say matched JFETs do make sense, I suppose. There is slight difference in the sound. Matched ones sound slightly better. So I'm not gonna look into this one yet. I'm just gonna go to BF256 because it just has similar range. So let me. Which ones are BFs here now? 25, and that I need to match with number 4. Okay, and remembering that they're different pinout, I just need to rotate them 180 degrees. Let's see. Whew, it's hard to keep track of this, but they're working. Let me do something fun. Let me just use two different types of JFET, making sure I get this right. What do you think? Is this going to work? Yeah, it's not as dramatic, but like it is working. It's I thought it was fun that you can match them, but like you don't need to use the same type of JFET. So let me try the other one, 1 and 3. I think these are the ones. 1 and 3. I like it. Nice. We got that working. So what else we could try? It's going to be difficult to get these working, I'd say. You see the difference here is 2.8, nearly 3.8. That's 1 volt difference, and I'm nearly at the end of the range I can cover. So you know what? Let's try it. Four and 2. What good is it to have breadboarded all of this without giving it a try? I think it's fun. What? Hey, it's working. All right. It was at the very end of what I can get here. Well, let me try then. J112. I mean, that should work as well because that's the range roughly. Okay, it's working, and I had to go all the way to the end of the range here. That's so. What we learned here is that this is working. So, real, I wouldn't say any JFET would work. I'd say lots of them can be made to work. It's just a matter of getting the right the I suppose, what are we trying to get? The biggest sweep, or the nicest sound. So first of all, I'm gonna try extending this range and then getting this sweep to see if I can get better sweep characteristics, and then maybe see if I can get the frequency increased even with changing some of the resistors. So there's like 2 or 3 things now. For JFETs, it's a matter of now picking a pair. And I'm gonna do that later on as well. Like, I want to see if I can tweak this a bit and see how this whole circuit is going to work, and then I'm gonna pick a pair for my build later on. So lots of times, I say, that components in certain areas of the circuit don't matter, and you can get away with using different values, using different options, and it is certainly true that, for example, low frequency oscillator doesn't really, it's not in the signal path, but that's not 100% true in this case, because it affects how our signal is shaped, right? Because it affects JFETs, and then by it is affecting the signal. So we have a resistor here, which is like, I use 3 mega ohms. In the original one, it's kind of a 3.9 mega ohms. So it normally this does not matter, but as you've seen, depending on which JFET you use, because it affects biasing, yeah, it does matter. So as you've seen, if I used J113 or BF256B, it did not matter, because our biasing was all the way up here, so we have some room to negotiate that there. But in this case, I'm at the maximum here, or in this case minimum, depends how you look at it. So I can't really manipulate this any longer. So it's probably not, if it is affecting biasing, I might need to think about doing something about it. So when I was doing my SPICE simulation, I was looking at how does this value affect this biasing point. So if I put something that's like, I have for example, 4.7 megs. In theory, if I look at it, it should bring this biasing point down and make a bigger gap between the reference value and this, so it might give me a better. So the key is getting the best position of this, what is going to be a trim pot in the final build. So that's the key. So that's what we're trying to get. So if we decide to go with these JFETs, or we're stuck with only having those and we don't want to wait for delivery, maybe it's a good idea to maybe experiment with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to replace this one with a higher value resistor, and see if I can get this to work slightly more favorably in terms of me being able to control this, because we'll see in the end. It will depend on the JFET and stuff like that, how the sound's going to shape out. So let's see if this still working at the very maximum. It was actually changing our sound, so it was engaging JFET. So let's see if that's not too bad at all. So you see how it was all the way here. By changing this here, I get more control. So while it doesn't affect the sound directly, it still has an effect on the effect, and noticeable effect, noticeable difference in this case, because now I can control it. But in case like this, what is the downside? Why was that value chosen in the first place? And it depends on the actual biasing point for these transistors. So what we give up by going higher on this resistor here is that our voltage swing from LFO is smaller. So if this goes all the way to, say, 1 meg, you get a swing of maybe 1.5 volts. If you go to 4.7, you get 0.2 volts. So it's kind of may not make any difference if that's what your JFET is best. You find that sweet spot. But again, it might not be the best for your particular situation. So what we're going to do in this one, I'm going to change a few more components here around LFO. I'm going to play with LFO, try to see what works, what doesn't work, and then I'm going to choose JFET, we're going to choose the components, final components, and then we're going to go with that. Maybe that's going to be the best. We choose the best sound we can get out of it, right? Because that's all this is about. So if you remember, I had this here resistor, I don't know, from earlier video. I was playing with this 470K here. Original has 150K, so that will give us a bit bigger swing on the output. So to counteract that I replace this one, I'm gonna change this one with 150K and see if that works. Now, again, everything is a trade-off. If I do this, it affects frequencies that this LFO supports. So it's kind of something to think about. So let's replace it. And reference the diagram maybe from the previous video, and it will be on the website anyway, the diagram. So let's see. I'll swap it back in. So right off the bat, you notice the difference in speed of this of the effect. So it has an impact, but again, it's very difficult to tell how big of a difference it is. So it requires some playing around. So it's not just the difference in the frequency. That's one of the changes that, you know, it's slower when I put this 150, but it's the swing is bigger in this LFO output, you know. So let's try. I feel it's more dramatic difference. I'm not 100% sure, but like, see how much of a frequency speed we lose here. So maybe so we have something to play with. I can counteract this with, you know, maybe replacing this. I believe this one is that one is 10K. So that's my minimum frequency. So if I change that, I might get some more frequency out of it. Let's see if I can get it out. I'll put this 1K in. Oh, that's funny sound now. Let's put 10K back and see. So now we have several options for this. So we just need to find, we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of JFETs. You saw the difference, what changing LFO gives us. So now it's just finding a right combination for the chosen pair, for the chosen one. And that is what I'm going to do next, you know, try to find, maybe choose 2 pairs and then in the end figure out which one I prefer the best. Wow, trippy. I could go on forever. Okay, after playing with this for a while, okay, I found that BF256 in this particular combination works best, I think. I kind of changed this to 4.7 meg. Just I wanted a smaller sweep. If it is a bigger sweep, it just gets out of the range that I can even hear. You know, for most of the cycle, there's no movement of that sweep. So let's see. That's one thing I changed. I chose these. I tried all of them a few times. The thing is, it's so funny. It's so fun to play now that I just keep on playing. I'll never finish this. I added smaller resistor here, 4.7K, to increase the frequency, the maximum frequency. So this is how this sounds. So it's now really this control here is sensitive, and you just need to find the right spot. So that's it for now. I'm going to play with this a bit more, maybe do some more, see what other possibilities are there to maybe change, improve, see what else I can do here, and it's going to be time to assemble it in a couple of videos. Until then.